Another controversial voice in the world of ancient mysteries is a British writer named David Icke. In the 1990s, Icke introduced a theory that shocked many people. He said that powerful leaders around the world, presidents, royalty, and even bankers, were not entirely human. According to him, they are the descendants of Anunnaki. But Icke took this idea one step further. He claimed the Anunnaki were not just gods or aliens. In his interpretation, they were shape-shifting reptiles from another star system. Icke said these reptilian beings came to Earth thousands of years ago. According to his book The Biggest Secret, the Anunnaki hid in underground bases and began controlling human societies from behind the scenes. To do this, they needed to blend in. So, Icke claims, they created bloodlines, half human, half reptilian. These hybrid families were placed into positions of power across ancient kingdoms. Over time, these bloodlines spread into modern governments, royal dynasties, and secretive organizations. He believes that the ruling elite today, including the British royal family, American political dynasties, and wealthy banking families, all share a common genetic link. This is where the idea of blue blood takes on a new meaning. For Icke, it's not just a poetic way to describe nobility. He says it is literal, a different kind of blood, passed down carefully through generations, meant to preserve their connection to the Anunnaki. But that connection may have started in a place we were never meant to find. According to Icke, this bloodline goes back to a time before recorded history, when the Anunnaki arrived from a star system called Alpha Draconis. He says they established a center on Earth, possibly the same place that Sumerian tablets called Edin, the abode of the righteous ones. This place later became known as the Garden of Eden. From there, the Anunnaki began mixing with humans, not just to create life, but to rule it. Icke's theory explains why certain families have held power for so long. He believes they are not chosen by chance or by the will of the people, but by blood. He calls this system a global control network, one that operates quietly, using ancient knowledge and advanced technology. He also believes that these beings continue to influence modern events. Wars, financial crises, and even pandemics, Icke claims, are part of a long-term plan to keep humanity divided and distracted, while the hidden bloodlines maintain control. But he didn't stop there. What he said next was even harder to believe. According to him, the reptilian descendants often appear human, but under certain conditions they can shift their appearance. Some people have claimed to witness strange changes in the eyes or skin of public figures during live broadcasts. This idea may sound like science fiction, and many experts have criticized Icke's views, calling them bizarre or dangerous. But despite the backlash, his theory has gained a global following. Today, people in over 40 countries attend his lectures and read his books. For those who believe him, the signs are everywhere. The concentration of power in certain families, the secrecy of elite groups, and the repeated use of ancient symbols. They say the same bloodline has ruled from ancient Sumer to Egypt to medieval Europe and all the way into the boardrooms and parliaments of today. And at the heart of this theory is one striking idea, that some humans even now may not be fully human at all. But why would these ancient beings want their descendants in power? Icke believes the answer is control. He says the Anunnaki feed not only on resources, but on human fear and conflict. By keeping humans divided through war, poverty, and political chaos, they maintain their influence and energy. And by placing their bloodline in the highest positions of authority, they ensure their goals continue, generation after generation. What's even more disturbing is that a story similar to the Anunnaki appears in the Bible itself. But what if they were really writing about the same beings, only under a different name? According to one of the oldest and most mysterious verses in the Bible, Strange beings once walked the earth. In the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 4, it says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them." These giants are known as the Nephilim. Many researchers believe they were not just big people, but hybrids. According to this theory, the sons of God were not ordinary men. They were powerful beings from the heavens. Some believe these were the same entities known in Mesopotamian texts as the Anunnaki, advanced beings or fallen angels who descended to earth. In this view, the Anunnaki of ancient Sumer and the fallen angels of the Bible are one and the same. Both are described as beings who came from the sky, shared advanced knowledge, and later crossed a forbidden line, mating with human women. Their children were the Nephilim, a race said to be taller, stronger, and more violent than normal people. These Nephilim became feared across the ancient world. Their presence, some believe, was one of the reasons for the Great Flood. In the story of Noah, God sees the earth filled with corruption and violence and chooses to wipe out nearly all life. The Bible suggests the Nephilim were destroyed in the flood, but that might not be the full story. In later books of the Bible, after the time of Noah, strange groups begin to appear again, people who were taller, stronger, and more terrifying than normal men. The first are the Anakim. These giants were described in the Book of Numbers when Israelite spies entered the land of Canaan. The spies returned with a warning. "We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes." The Anakim were believed to be direct descendants of the Nephilim. They lived in fortified cities, high in the hills. In some texts, they are even described as the sons of Anak, a mysterious figure who may have been a post-flood hybrid himself. Another group mentioned in the Bible is the Rephaim. They were also giants and lived in the same region. Some of their cities were described as having enormous stone beds and dwellings. Other names appear too: the Emim, the Zuzim, and the Zamzumim, all said to be mighty and large people who once lived in the lands around Canaan. Over time, many of these giant tribes were pushed out or defeated by the Israelites. Some escaped to Philistine cities on the coast, where one of the most famous giants in history would later appear. One of the last known giants in the Bible was Goliath. Described in the first book of Samuel, he was a warrior from the city of Gath. He stood over 9 feet tall and wore armor too heavy for most men to carry. Goliath's size, strength, and fearsome presence made him unlike any normal soldier. Many believe he was a direct descendant of the Anakim, one of the last living reminders of the Nephilim bloodline. Some theorists believe traces of Nephilim DNA still exist in certain human families, especially those tied to ancient tribes, royal lines, or priesthoods. These people might not be giants, but they may carry something unusual in their genes: strength, intelligence, or even a different kind of blood. So, are the Anunnaki descendants among us today? The truth is that we may never know for sure if today's royal families carry the blood of the Anunnaki, or if world leaders really have blue blood from shape-shifting reptiles who came from the stars. But one thing is clear: something once walked this earth that was not fully human. In modern times, stories have surfaced that seem to echo the ancient tales, stories of giants with strange features and impossible strength, seen by people who had no reason to lie. Take, for example, the giant of Kandahar. In 2002, during a military mission in the remote mountains of Afghanistan, a group of American soldiers came upon a strange cave. What they found inside would never appear in any official report. According to interviews with former military personnel, a massive humanoid creature emerged from the shadows, at least 12 feet tall, with fiery red hair, pale skin, 6 fingers on each hand, and a weapon the size of a telephone pole. The creature attacked with incredible speed, killing one soldier instantly. The rest opened fire, using everything they had. After a long battle, the giant finally collapsed. But before anyone could document it, a helicopter arrived, took the body, and flew off. It was never seen again. The military went silent, but the soldiers never forgot. Then there's Lovelock Cave in Nevada. Back in 1911, miners searching for bat guano stumbled upon something much more shocking: the preserved remains of red-haired giants, measuring between 8 and 10 feet tall. Archaeologists recovered sandals over 15 inches long and tools made for hands far bigger than ours. Local native tribes, like the Paiute, had long told stories of the Sitekar, a race of violent red-haired giants who once roamed the region. Mainstream science has tried to explain the red hair as a trick of time and temperature. But similar legends exist all across the Americas, and all of these modern theories echo what was written in ancient Sumer, in Genesis, and on temple walls across the world. So maybe the question isn't if the Anunnaki have descendants walking among us. Maybe the real question is, have they ever truly left? If this has you wondering, don't stop here. Check out our video on the tall whites, aliens some say are living quietly among us even now. Or dive into the Ice Wall Guardians and find out why so many believe something is watching us from beyond the Antarctic ice walls.